Hey guys, and welcome back to week 2 of the Halloween card series. Last week we made this cute, adorable Frankenstein card for our Peekaboo Monster series. So we're going to be continuing on with our second card. So let's get started. So the star monster for this week's Peekaboo Monster card is going to be Dracula. And for that we're going to go and start off with a red cardstock that I've already cut down to 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And we're going to be using this stamp set by Tim Holtz. It's the Halloween Silhouettes, and we're going to be using this big background stamp. And we're going to be stamping that with Tim Holtz Distress Ink in Fired Brick. We're going to go right here. And then just take some extra scrap paper that you have, and so then you can just fully press it down. Okay. It'll end up looking like that. Taking our stamped image, we're going to go and adhere it onto the back of our card that I've already folded to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So taking my ATG runner and just putting some glue on the back of it. Then just putting it down in the middle of the card. For Dracula, you're going to go and need a gray cardstock since, vampires, they're really pale since they don't see any light. And I've cut this down to 3 1/4, so then you have about 1/4 of an inch on each side of the of your red background, and then also a black cardstock that we're going to go and use for his hair, and I've cut that down to 3 1/2. So we'll start off with Dracula's hair, and for that you're going to go and need the black cardstock and also a hole punch to go and get that widow's peak on there. And I'm using the Fiskars large punch. This is the 1 1/2 circle. So first you want to go and find the center of your cardstock and just at the middle, so then you know where your hole punch should go and end up. So you want to find the half of 3 1/2 inches, and an easy way for me to go and find the center when you're trying to guess is just kind of line it up, and since it's at 3 1/2, kind of count to see how many is on each side until you hit the middle. So 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. So you know that you have to go into the middle of this one, and then you just kind of eyeball it. So I'm just gonna mark right there. We're just going to take our hole punch and then just line up, and then until you can go and see the center. Okay, and then just pinch, and then see how I did it, it's kind of off, but you can always just go and even it out. Take your gray, and we want to adhere this onto him. Then you also want to go and put it at the top because we're going to trim it down. So you have your card looking like this, and actually right now it kind of looks like we could make the Bride of Frankenstein. We're just going to eyeball it and see where you want to, start his hair. Okay, now that you've cut down Dracula's hair like that, you just want to go and put him onto the cardstock, and you don't want him too high, so I'm going to go right about here. So I'm going to go and mark over here where I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to trim him off and be right back. So I have him trimmed off, so he looks like that, and now we're going to just put some tape on the back of him and put him onto our card. And he's not done yet. I've taken a 1/4 inch strip from the extra black that I had left over from when I was trimming his hair. And I cut it down to a 1/4 inch strip, and we're just going to go and give him some eyebrows. So now I have 2 eyebrows. Now they look crazy. So I'm going to take one of the angles and cut in a diagonal across, and then it looks like that. Yeah, I think this is a little bit too thick, so I'm going to go and just take a little bit off the top. Okay, and then so now you want to go and just kind of give them a little bit of an arch. I'm going to go and place it where I want it to be, and then trim off the excess. Okay, so now I have his eyebrows trimmed. So he's going to look like that. Just want to make sure that they're not unibrows. I'm going to use some Tombow Mono multi-glue and just put some glue on there. So right now we're working on our speech bubble, and you know, just like last time, just grab any scrap white cardstock that you have. I'm lining up the paper so I can go and see how much room I have. I have like an erasure over here that I can't seem to get rid of, so it's not that big of a deal. I'm just going to flip it, and his speech bubble is going to come out like that. We're going to go and glue it on an extra black cardstock, so then you get that black outline on it. For the sentiment, I used the Tim Holtz Alteration chip block Sizzix die. And I took out the letters, and I'm spelling Welcome with a V. Since the letters are really small, I'm going to go and run them through my little Xyron sticker maker. And what I'm doing is I'm just using my Pick Me Up tool from Silhouette. And it has this sticky, tacky glue over here. So then I can go and pick up the letters, and I'm able to go and position them where I want them to go and be. Aside from the B, you want to go and take like a point over that you have, like maybe a pick or a pen, and you want to rub the edges of these so then you don't pick up any excess tape on them. And then after you're done just outlining them, you just want to press them down. And to go and put on top, we're going to be taking that stamp set from Tim Holtz again, and we're going to be using the bat, and we're going to be stamping it on our black cardstock. So I'm just going to take a block, and we're going to be cutting it out. So you really want to go and find like a ink that you can go and use to go and see it. I have like this chalk ink that I can go and use where you can see it pretty well on black. So I'm just going to stamp it up. Now you want to make sure that the other side of the black looks pretty good, because we're not going to be using this side. We're going to be flipping it over and using the other side. So I've cut it out like that. You can see the ink or the chalk on there, and then you just flip it over and it looks like that. So now let's go and put our bat on, and I have some small adhesive that I'm just going to cut in half and place that onto our bat. And then now we're going to go and put some more foam dots on the back of the circle. So here is the finished card for our Halloween card series this week. I really like the bat. Next week is going to be our final card in our Peekaboo Monster card series, and we're going to be doing a mummy. So I'll see you next week. Bye!